Welcome to Financial Insights in Minutes, where we summarize critical financial news for the busy investor. Today's topic, the complex world of cryptocurrencies, focusing on Bitcoin's response to politics and market trends.
We'll explore various expert opinions on market risks and potential rewards amidst political uncertainty.
What fresh insights can we gain from leading financial analysts today?
Stay with us as we unwrap the layers of Bitcoin's current volatile narrative.
First, Altcoin Daily explores how Trump's promises could reshape Bitcoin forever. Next, Ivan on Tech discusses political moves impacting Bitcoin's volatile price. Coin Bureau investigates the trend of governments selling Bitcoin and its potential repercussions. George from CryptosRUs shares key predictions for Bitcoin amidst current market fears. Lark Davis analyzes potential government rage selling of Bitcoin and its implications. Crypto Banter examines how Silk Road coin movement could shake the market. Crypto Casey predicts what U.S. politics could mean for Bitcoin's price. Finally, the Moon's Carl Runefelt discusses technical formations and a potential bounce for Bitcoin. Hello, crypto enthusiasts. Welcome to Altcoin Daily. Today, we're diving deep into some transformative changes in the Bitcoin landscape that have everyone buzzing.
Absolutely. With massive trading volumes on Bitcoin ETFs and Donald Trump's bold new promises for the crypto market, things are heating up.
What's the main thesis behind these changes in the Bitcoin world?
The core thesis suggests that with Donald Trump's recent announcements, there's potential for Bitcoin to become a recognized global standard for capital, ushering in significant market changes.
First up, those ETF numbers are wild. What can you share about that?
Indeed. BlackRock's U.S. Bitcoin ETF has generated over $560 million in trades within just the first hour. That's making waves as it becomes the fifth most traded ETF around.
Let's talk about Trump's promises. What's the scoop?
Trump has made quite a pledge. On day one, he'd fire SEC Chairman Gary Gensler and create a strategic Bitcoin stockpile from the U.S. government's Bitcoin holdings.
And what about the CBDC issue?
He's made it clear no CBDCs while he's in office. Plus, he aims to set a solid framework for stablecoin regulation.
What could these political moves mean for the broader market?
If these changes go through, Bitcoin could see unprecedented growth. Clear, fair regulations are key to ensuring a thriving crypto industry.
Are there any predictions on Bitcoin's future price movements?
Absolutely. If Trump follows through, Bitcoin's value might skyrocket. This could open doors for more investors to join the fray.
And what about regulations?
With a new SEC chairman, there could be a dramatic shift in oversight, improving overall investor confidence in the industry.
To wrap it all up, what's the final thought on everything we've discussed?
In sum, Bitcoin stands at the precipice of mainstream acceptance. With political moves encouraging market growth and regulation, now is definitely an exciting time for crypto enthusiasts.
Any last words for our viewers?
Stay tuned and engaged. These changes could significantly impact how we view Bitcoin and cryptocurrency moving forward.
Welcome back to Ivan on Tech. Today, the spotlight shines on a volatile Bitcoin market. Buckle up as we dive into how political machinations and governmental maneuvers might be affecting your crypto holdings.
Absolutely. Ivan, known for his insights into the ever-changing crypto landscape, argues that recent political actions and Bitcoin's bonds are intertwined. Hold on to your wallets.
What's the thesis behind Ivan's insights today? What's really going on with Bitcoin?
The core thesis is that the recent downturn in Bitcoin's price can be attributed to political maneuvers, specifically the actions taken by Democrats to hinder Trump's Bitcoin reserve strategy. It appears crypto is caught in a political tug-of-war.
Let's break down the key points Ivan discussed. First off, what about the market movement?
Bitcoin hit a high of $70,000, but quickly got rejected, resulting in a 4% drop. Yet, looking at the weekly chart, it's holding its ground, remarkably steady overall.
And how are politics playing a role here?
Here's the scoop. Reports indicate that Democrats are selling off Trump's Bitcoin reserve, likely out of political desperation as the election looms. Talk about a high-stakes game.
What does Ivan say about future predictions?
Ivan believes that once Bitcoin breaches $70,000, it could surge to $100,000 rapidly. But prepare for volatility. It's bound to fluctuate with unfolding political drama.
What are the major predictions coming from this discussion?
Looking ahead, If trends continue, Bitcoin might bounce back faster than expected. However, shifts in the political landscape could heavily influence market direction.
So what's the final takeaway today?
The intersection of economic principles and political strategies greatly influences Bitcoin's future. Investors should keep a keen eye on both the market and the political landscape.
Welcome to Coin Bureau on YouTube. Today, we're diving into a hot topic, the unsettling trend of governments unloading Bitcoin. What does it mean for the crypto market?
Exactly. With the German government recently selling off its Bitcoin, there are concerns about other governments with massive Bitcoin stacks. Let's unravel this mystery.
What's the main crux of this discussion? Why are these government sales such a big deal?
The central thesis is that the sale of government-held Bitcoin could lead to market turmoil, especially since many governments possess vast amounts that could impact prices significantly.
Let's break this down. What governments are in the Bitcoin game?
The U.S. tops the list with over 213,000 Bitcoin, primarily seized from criminals rather than purchased.
And what about these significant sales? How often do they happen?
Since 2014, the U.S. has sold over $360 million in Bitcoin. Just this past March, a whopping 51,000 BTC were sold.
What about China? They've been known to hold large amounts too.
Absolutely. China seized over 190,000 Bitcoin from the Plus token scam. If they choose to sell, the impacts could be massive.
And what's happening in the UK?
The UK holds over 61,000 Bitcoin from laundering operations, and new laws allow police to seize and destroy crypto assets from criminals.
So given all this, how does it all affect the market?
Any potential sell-off brings uncertainty, and the crypto market can't survive that drama. It's like Wonder Woman without her lasso. Confusion galore.
What predictions can we anticipate regarding government holdings?
Some governments will likely sell to balance budgets, but regulatory clarity may encourage them to hold as a reserve.
Looking ahead, what might governments do?
Future administrations, especially with potential crypto advocates, could reshape policies. Central banks may hold crypto in reserves starting 2025.
Wrapping it all up, what's the key takeaway?
The potential for government sell-offs creates market volatility. Better regulations are essential to mitigate these risks.
What's the potential impact of these sell-offs?
Uncertainty can lead to FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the crypto market, which is lethal to investor confidence.
Welcome back to CryptosRUs. Today, we're diving into the roller coaster ride of Bitcoin prices. We've got the ever-enthusiastic George Tung here to shine some light on the latest happenings.
Absolutely. George is not just entertaining, but also brings a wealth of knowledge on cryptocurrency. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a thrilling ride.
So, what's the core takeaway from George's video?
The thesis centers around fluctuating Bitcoin prices, which recently dipped due to market fears sparked by the U.S. government's actions regarding seized Bitcoin. But there's a silver lining. Long-term trends look promising.
Let's delve into key points. What caused the drop in Bitcoin prices?
The price fell to around $666, primarily driven by fear surrounding the U.S. government selling off their seized Bitcoin. Talk about a spooky coincidence.
And what about the impact of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in this scenario?
Fear from market manipulation and prior similar situations, like the Mt. Gox case, adds to the volatility. Investors are understandably on edge.
Looking forward, what does George see for Bitcoin?
He predicts that with the right economic data and conditions, a bull market may be just around the corner. Patience is key, folks.
What predictions does George have about the coming months?
He believes that upcoming events like the FOMC meeting can lead to significant shifts in market sentiment. The stage is set for a potential bull market.
And what about investment strategies in these uncertain times?
DCA is highlighted. If you invested consistently, even at a lower price like $25 last year, you could see gains nearing 10 times your initial investment.
To wrap it up, what's the final takeaway?
In conclusion, while the current volatility may spook investors, George emphasizes the importance of remaining patient, focusing on fundamental analysis, and sticking to a sound investment strategy. Great things may be just ahead.
Any final words on strategy?
For sure. Patience and consistency with DCA can lead to extensive rewards in the crypto space. Keep holding strong.
Welcome to today's episode. We're diving into the wild world of Bitcoin as rumors swirl about the US government's potential rage selling of their Bitcoin stash.
Yes, Lark Davis explores the implications of this move and what it means for the crypto landscape amid the political storms brewing around it.
What's the core thesis here? Are we really looking at a government fire sale?
The central idea is that amidst rising political pressures, the U.S. government might offload its Bitcoin, but the narrative may be overblown and not as damaging in the grand scheme.
First off, tell us about the US government's Bitcoin cash.
The U.S. holds over 200,000 Bitcoin, and there's buzz about these assets being sold, particularly to circumvent political victories surrounding figures like Donald Trump.
What response has the market shown so far to this news?
In fact, Bitcoin ETFs consumed more Bitcoin than the government supposedly might sell, showcasing the market's solid footing and resilience.
The political landscape seems heated. What's going on there?
Absolutely. Crypto is now a hot political issue, with Trump advocating for crypto, and his stance contrasts sharply with the current administration's position.
Any predictions on what might happen next with these government holdings?
It's likely some selling could happen, but it probably won't significantly impact the market due to stronger external market dynamics.
Wrapping up, what should viewers take away from this?
The takeaway is to remain level-headed. While there is political drama surrounding Bitcoin, the market's fundamentals are pushing forward, and panic might be premature.
And what about the political future of cryptocurrency?
Political interest in crypto is heightened, signaling an ongoing battle between pro- and anti-crypto candidates ahead of future elections.
Welcome to Crypto Banter, where we decode the crypto chaos. Today's hot topic, the recent $2 billion worth of Silk Road coins moving through the system. What does it mean for Bitcoin and the broader market?
Exactly. Ran Neuner, our resident crypto expert, lays it all out. From market impact to potential trades, he's got the inside scoop.
So, what's the crux of this Bitcoin drama?
The main thesis is that the movement of those Silk Road coins, amounting to $2 billion, has jolted the market. Speculation about whether political forces are behind it adds to the uncertainty.
Let's dive into key points. First off, what's the deal with that Silk Road coin dump?
Bitcoin's value plunged to $66,667. Many suspect the Democrats might be moving coins to manipulate the market for political gain.
What's the mood in the market right now?
The Fear and Greed Index fell from 74 to 67, but hefty purchases are still being made. Some big names are still stepping in.
And how about the U.S. federal debt?
It's hit $35 trillion for the first time in history, a jump of $12 trillion since 2020. Bitcoin acts as a hedge against such extreme debt.
Looking ahead, what predictions were made?
There's optimism that the $69,000 resistance could turn into support, paving the way for higher prices. Rand believes we'll see a cycle of higher highs and higher lows.
What about trading strategies? Any opportunities?
Definitely. Rand sees opportunities ripe for picking, especially with potential bullish trends forming over the next few months, particularly in August.
So, how should viewers take this information?
Stay vigilant during this volatility. The conversation about technique and timing is essential as investors strategize and identify solid long-term positions.
Is it just speculation about political involvement or something more at play?
The Silk Road coins moving disruptively certainly raises eyebrows and highlights potential governmental influence in the crypto market. Important to keep an eye on those trends.
Welcome back to Crypto Casey. Today's thrilling topic, how could U.S. politics catapult Bitcoin to $1 million?
That's right. We're diving deep into the wild world of Bitcoin's price movements while considering how political shifts could impact the crypto landscape.
So what's Bitcoin's core situation right now?
Bitcoin is currently in a bearish trend but could soar to new heights depending on U.S. political decisions and actions surrounding cryptocurrency regulation and buying.
Let's start by discussing the current Bitcoin trend. What's the latest?
Bitcoin remains bearish until it closes above $70,500. The S&P 500's fluctuations signal broader market uncertainty.
And how are U.S. politics influencing Bitcoin?
If Trump, who promotes a national Bitcoin stockpile, gets elected, it could bolster the crypto market dramatically. Meanwhile, Biden's reputation isn't doing crypto any favors.
What's going on with the Federal Reserve?
The Fed seems poised for a rate cut, which tends to uplift crypto and stock markets during politically charged times.
Are there any external factors at play?
Absolutely. Global tensions and the slow start of Ethereum ETFs are causing concern, but they also spotlight Bitcoin's long-term potential.
What are the predictions for Bitcoin's future?
Major spikes are predicted if Trump's policies come to fruition, with the U.S. buying Bitcoin. It's not just going to the moon. It could become interstellar.
And what about the broader market adjustments?
The presidential election will play a critical role in establishing crypto regulation, and predictions from July's meeting could reverberate into 2025.
To wrap things up, what's the biggest takeaway regarding Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is poised for potentially explosive growth, contingent on favorable U.S. political decisions, especially if Trump takes the helm.
So what should crypto investors do next?
Staying informed about these political movements and market trends is crucial. It's like keeping your ear to the digital currency ground.
Welcome to the moon. Today, we're diving deep into Bitcoin's latest movements and a fascinating inverse head and shoulders formation. Joining us is the ever-knowledgeable Carl Runefelt, who has his finger on the crypto pulse.
Exciting times indeed. Carl's experience as an entrepreneur and crypto trader makes him an ideal guide through this wild Bitcoin ride. Let's unravel the mystery behind this price formation.
So what's the big idea from Carl's latest insights?
The core thesis highlights that the inverse head and shoulders could lead to a breakout, but it hinges heavily on breaking the neckline. If it does, we might see the price pump.
Let's break this down. What's the deal with that neckline?
Breaking the neckline is crucial. It validates the inverse head and shoulders. And remember, patience is key. Jumping in too soon can lead to a major wreck.
And what's the situation with support and resistance?
Bitcoin has bounced off previous support levels beautifully. The next challenge, that hefty resistance at $71,600.
Targets are always intriguing. What's in store for Bitcoin if it breaks out?
If it breaks out, we could be eyeing a target of $75,500. If that happens, it'll be a massive reveal for those who thought the gap would fill first.
What exciting predictions did Carl lay out for us?
Carl suggests that if Trump wins the presidency, we might see a short-term surge in Bitcoin as his policies could align more favorably with crypto interests.
And what about the broader market in the long run?
In the long term, Bitcoin's fate won't hinge on who's in office. The market will keep being shaped by various global factors beyond politics.
To wrap things up, what should our viewers take away?
Investors should stay cautious. The upcoming days are critical as Bitcoin approaches that neckline. Watch closely. This could be a game changer.
And one last piece of advice?
Patience and thorough research. Don't let FOMO take the wheel. Happy trading, everyone.
In closing, it's clear that Bitcoin's fate is closely tied to the evolving political framework.
Contributions from different experts highlight that while optimism exists, caution remains vital.
Thanks for joining us today. Keep your ear to the ground on these pivotal changes. Thanks for watching Financial Insights in Minutes for July 30th, 2024. If you'd like more time-saving content, please remember to like and subscribe. If you have ideas for more channels you'd like to see summarized, drop a comment below. See you next time.